whole lot of satisfaction in the win by the end of the game, to be honest with you. So really had to step back from it a little bit and look at its entirety, because we didn't finish the game very well. Give credit to Southeast Missouri. I mean, to be down 21-0 as quickly as they were, I didn't. It's credit to them. It's a credit to Coach Samuels. I didn't think their pace of playing, their intensity dropped off one bit. Us, on the other hand, there was some just times of real inconsistency. And I think I can draw a parallel to circumstances. I thought we arrived ready to play. We returned kicks, we blocked kick, we covered kicks, we made plays on offense, made plays on defense. Whatever I said at halftime didn't have much effect on them, because we really didn't sustain it very, very well. But you know, we're challenged to play coming in a Tennessee Tech football team that has been a very efficient football team. As you look at them statistically, you don't see a strength and weakness category. They're right there in everything, in a median area. They're doing a good job with protecting the ball, and I think they're just playing really good football. Usually when you do that, you got an experienced quarterback, and Lee Sweeney is a 3-year senior, 3-year starter, transferred from, I think, Louisville, but I can't remember. That might not be right. He's a big, strapping, run the game kind of player, and he's got I guess you could probably say, the most productive wide receiver and Tim Benford to throw to. So the two of them is probably where it starts, but you've got a couple of guys with the balls in their hands, and Henry Sales, who's been in and out of the lineup, and the running back Dante Gay. Those two guys have made a lot of open field plays for them, and at the same time, they've had some consistency in the running game, consistency in the passing game. I'd say we need to take them out of their rhythm somehow on offense. And defensively, they've got a defensive coordinator, and sorry, I can't remember his name. Mine's not working very good, but he was at Chattanooga, very multiple, does a great job with the schemes, and the players are playing more in the system now, and I think their system is helping them an awful lot. I'm impressed. I think on defense is the same thing as it is offense. They're where they're supposed to be when they're supposed to be there, and they're making their plays. I guess maybe if you just put one word over the whole, they're very sound, which is a sign of good coaching. So we feel enormously challenged by this team. We feel challenged by ourselves and the way we left the game the last time we played. But I would say this, particularly maybe for the excitement level that we need to play, and that our fans need to want to see us play. This is a very talented football team that is still has a high level of motivation. I guess maybe flip it over the other way. I think that they were very disappointed in not finishing the game at a high level. There's nothing lackadaisical about this football team. There are some very talented players that, when it don't get done right every time, they get highly frustrated because they expect a lot out of themselves. And I expect I expect their own expectations to bring them back. And I would expect that it's going to result in us playing the best we've played all year right here at the end, which we certainly need to do. Close out this season, this football game, play the best we can play. And I don't think we could say that has been the case since the last, since we had an open date. The pieces are there. It's not an attitude problem. There's not a work problem. If anything, is inconsistent focus. And if I could just maybe dig into it, it is the first and second year players on this team sort of playing inconsistently. We had James Wilkerson, who came out of the game after the opening kickoff, and we didn't put him back in. And every time we lose one of those core players, and Brant Thomas, and it just the thing has a little less continuity to it. So expect everybody to be there by game day at least. We'll start out the week. I'm sure some of them will be limited. If there's anybody that's not going to be able to be there, it'll be something that I can't tell you about right now. It'll be something that will be disclosed to us on the practice field, because we'll be trying to get all of them ready. This kid does a great job, so I'll put my expectations that he'll have them all ready to play. Questions?
Tyler Chambers, is he going to be back?
There's one that I think would be very doubtful, because like you, Ed, I saw him walking on crutches, and I don't think it'd be fair to Tyler to try to rush him back out there. That one would be a little on the more doubtful side of it. Outside of him, we got a list of questionables this time of year, and I haven't seen Tennessee Tech's, but you go play a big old physical team like Georgia. You go to practice beat up, and some of it you find out when you get there.
But you know Watson Brown as well as anybody. How motivated you think he's going to have his team? That's a set-up question.
And I've said this before, Watson is a guy I have enormous respect for. Back in the day when I was supposed to be a pretty smart offensive coach, I didn't visit very many people, but I went to visit Watson, usually NFL people. But Watson always had a mental edge, I thought. He knew what the cycles were, and he got ahead of the cycle and sort of broke the cycle. And so I don't think I can tell you anything more than that. I'm talking about 20 years ago. And UAB's my alma mater, and I kept in touch with them there, and I know that program hadn't arrived at what their expectations are, but under him, they went from not having a football helmet to being very credible. Took them to a bowl game. Watson coached here. I think it means a lot to him when he comes here. I will say that we'll be getting 110% of whatever he's got, and I know it. And I think he can tell. And we're not playing any games here. I think he can tell. This is a very talented football team that we're playing with, and I think that will heighten the challenge for him. And he's some guys you don't throw it high and inside to Babe Ruth. I don't want somebody I have great respect for. I don't want to get all I got, but I'm sure we probably will.